it's so important to place a focus on mental health and connection to nature because it doesn't come as easy as it does in other seasons. We can no longer put our feet in the grass. We can no longer walk with just a t-shirt on. We're bundled up and protected from nature, from the thing that brings us connection to the world around us. There was a period of time of a couple weeks where I was feeling really cooped up. There are just a lot more barriers to going outside and doing art when it's so cold. I'm the kind of person that gets a lot of joy out of challenging my current way of thinking and figuring out what's an excuse and what's an actual reason to not do something. And weather kind of felt like an excuse to me. Typically, when I go outside and do art, I have my watercolors, but watercolors will freeze. In the freezing cold, windy mountains, I had decided to bring my sketchbook and a Sharpie and see how that went. So I went to Rocky Mountain National Park as my destination of choice. This first location is called The Lock. It's on the way to Sky Pond, and I decided to stop here because it had a beautiful view, and honestly, the snow was too deep really for anyone to go any further without snowshoes, which I didn't have. This piece of art felt very experimental. I had used my watercolor brush pens, and overall it didn't turn out very well at all. It was very blotchy, it didn't really look good, but it was a really good experiment, and it felt really fun and really challenging to put myself in these conditions and to enjoy the sunrise and enjoy the sound of the snow underneath my feet, and to still get something on the paper, even if it was absolutely hideous. But I loved every second of making it because it felt like I was doing something really challenging and proving my excuses wrong. Since that piece of art didn't turn out very well, I decided to take a little detour on my way back and go to Mills Lake. And I loved this one. It was a lot less windy, sun started to come out, and this drawing turned out really, really well. I just had a really, really fun time doing more of a sketchy kind of plein air. Nothing colorful, not really trying to get a lot of shadows or anything. It was really just, what are the shapes in front of me? What is the shape of this mountain? And just getting that on the paper was a lot of fun. And I loved the experience of sitting in the snow and sitting in these mountains in a time where it's a lot less busy. It's a lot less appreciated during the winter as well, and I'm so happy I was able to incorporate art, snow, and hiking, and I never thought I'd ever do that. The way that the sun glistens on the snow and sparkles, and the way that the clouds move so quickly, and there's just so much more solitude that you can achieve in the winter mountains, and so much more challenge on the hikes when you're sinking into the snow and making your own path and you can't find the trail, and you really have to collaborate with the people around you on the trail to be able to climb to these places. It's also a way to connect more to the people around you when you hike in the winter. And it's also a challenge to yourself to be able to take care of yourself and bring the right supplies and bring the right amount of whatever it is that you need in order to survive in this hostile condition. And I just love that feeling of getting back to my car after being so cold and so like wrapped up in jackets, and just taking care of myself in that kind of way that allows me to go into nature and make art even if it's below freezing.